It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here having a reaction and discussion to a video from TwinsMainSage. So I have reacted to other videos and talked about them in before, and I will have some in the at the end screen. But the title says the line between frustration and toxicity. So I am very interested to hear TwinsMainSage's perspective on a topic like this, because as you guys know, I've covered different topics, and I've also stated a couple of times that TwinsMainSage has a completely different playstyle as myself, has a completely different perspective on the game, and I find it very fascinating to hear that perspective and to talk about it and have a conversation with you guys watching. For those of you who keep up with the channel as well, which if you want to continue having more discussions, we also have a Discord, which will be linked in the description. You can join the community and talk and yap about different topics. But let's get into it. I'm interested to hear it. TwinsMainSage always has very interesting topics to talk about, so I want to see what's next.
DBD is very frustrating at times. I talk a lot about how much I enjoy the whimsical, funny, and skillful moments.
So TwinsMainSage has usually covered the whimsy of DBD, which I personally have not seen before. So that's what I find so interesting, is that the perspective on it is vastly different, and I want to be able to stand at the same viewpoint and be able to actually look at the game in the same way and go, oh wow, like that's so interesting. And that's mainly why we're here. So, and for me personally, I don't really see the game as like a whimsical game with all these like fun little connections and things like that. I look at it for what it is, which is literally you play as a horror villain and you slaughter. so that to me I think is cool. I like that part of it. So let's continue.
But for every impressive mind game or chase, there's probably 5 misplays or frustrating games. I'm here to talk about how I express frustration with this game and how I avoid letting it ever cross a line into aggression or toxicity. Come, sit with me. I'd like to think we've gotten to know each other a little bit at this point. I'm sorry for getting parasocial, but I'm going to be vulnerable here and show a side of me I don't really show in my videos. I try to be articulate and generally positive with my content, so everything is scripted, so I can think through everything I say and be seen.
Shout out to TwinsMainSage for having a script, because I personally don't use one with these videos. I try to go in just talking about the topic off the top of my head, and I feel like, to me, that I think makes it a little bit more authentic, but I think that also leads to a lot of misunderstanding. That is a bit of a downside to the more free flow way that I deliver the content in that kind of way. And to do a script, I think would be, more organized and more efficient in terms of delivering ideas, I should say. It would be easier for me to convey those ideas and concepts. On the other hand, I do think it takes away some of the sort of having a conversation sort of aspect to it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments of like if the style that we got is good, or if you would prefer something scripted.
Seen how I want to be seen, but I am what you might call well-rounded. So while I do love this game and try to see the best in people, man, it gets frustrating sometimes. The constant twins bugs, the gen rushing on Chaos Shuffle, the tunneling at 5 gens, the never-ending salt and passive-aggressive or aggressive-aggressive comments. It's
I do want to touch on like tunneling at 5 gens. I know it's like a running meme. But the thing is that which I want to touch on it just quickly. The thing is that people don't realize that because of the spawns that we have nowadays, even also applies to this. But like when you spawn in and you're already here at 1 gen 99, the 2nd gen is already at least 80. You're like, yo, I gotta get this person out of the game by 3, bro. Like by the time it's 3, I need to make sure somebody's close to death, because like because by the time like we get to mid game, I'm gonna have nothing. Like I'm gonna have 0 kills, 0 hooks, like no, like 0 downs. I need, like, you know what I mean? being a little bit, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you get the idea. Like, and that's usually the kind of timer I would play with in my head, is that like I'm thinking like, crap, like these 2 gens are already at least 80. I'm like, I do not have any slowdown. I need to get somebody out of the game. But anyway, yeah, the game is very frustrating, and it's why I've taken a very good amount of distance away from the game as a result.
Exhausting. And this might be a surprise to some of you, but I am human. I pride myself in never letting myself cross into being toxic. Toxicity is a very overused word, but we're gonna call it frustration that has gone too damn far. In frustration, I might say to this Steve that I hate him, and that he's the worst, and that I'm going to eat him, but that's all directed at this character. I hold no hate in my heart for the person playing Steve. In my mind, I have separated.
This is something I have to say that I respect a lot about TwinsMainSage, is the fact that it is ultimately a limit where you go, it's just at the character, it's just at the thing that annoyed me is what I'm focused on. It's not the person, it's not making it a personal attack, it's not about that. My issue is, though, is that while TwinsMainSage may be one of those people that can draw the line and say, hey, this is just game focused, there's a lot of players out there that don't do that, and then they make it personal. They go after you know, you as a person. They go after, say if you are somebody who uses face cam, they go after your personal appearance, stuff like that, which I've spoken about in a different video. They go after the person that said it, when it's like, this is not what we're trying to do here. That's not something that you should be trying to do. That's not what we're trying to do. And the thing is that I usually see that a lot with Survivor players, probably because there's more of them and there's more of them that are very frustrated. But there's most definitely going to be killer players that do the same thing, which is such a damn shame. But yeah, either way, this is a big topic that I want to cover, and that's my issue. You know, that is such a damn shame.
The character I'm chasing and the person behind the screen. I have love in my heart for the person behind the screen, as all people deserve unconditional love. But this Steve can rot. Some tactics I use when dealing with an exceptionally frustrating game: laughing at myself, or crying. Why was that bed in the way?
Turning into the Joker is the only way you can deal with the DVD frustration.
Either way, I'm letting out my emotions rather than bottling them up and seething while planning very detailed revenge against everyone that has ever wronged me. Express your emotions in a way that isn't yelling at a real person or an animal or breaking something. If you shove your feelings down, then eventually you're gonna stub your toe and start sobbing because you haven't felt what you're supposed to feel in way too long. I do not feel guilty for engaging in trash talk, as long as I know where the line is. I would never tell anyone to end their own life, use slurs, or anything that would genuinely hurt.
The thing, and once again, much respect going to TwinsMainSage for this. The problem is, though, is that as a community, you know, there's a lot of people, Survivor players usually, that tend to do this kind of thing, man. They always are trying to say these things because of who you chose to play, how you played, and just your willingness to give them mercy, or to play the way they think is fun for themselves, and not even taking into account that you may not find it fun, and things like that. I've spoken about this extensively in previous videos, even responding to the hate comments, which I'm gonna try to make a playlist for, because there's like it's a lot.
Someone's feelings. I am willing to say something like, "We need to do our breathing exercises. I'm gonna eat you!" Because that's me venting my frustration and making a harmless threat because I'm not a cannibal. I believe there is a natural amount of trash talk that can happen between opponents in any competitive game. A line is crossed when you start saying things that would insult your opponent personally, like asking me if I only play characters that I look like as a way to insult my appearance after I killed them. Joke's on you, Bubba's the hottest killer by far. A line is crossed when you threaten someone's life, family, or their well-being. A line is crossed when you track someone down on another platform to complain about how they played. All of these are way too far and indicative of a deeper problem. It's normal, and arguably healthy, to be frustrated when something annoying happens in a video game. It is abnormal and unhealthy to have such a strong and aggressive reaction to such a small transgression.
This I completely agree with, and I think this applies to anybody playing DBD as a whole. Like this is a blanket, like everybody needs to take this into account, dude. It's still just a freaking game, dude. Like at the end of the freaking day, you know? And if you're not having fun, or if you're not having a good time, that's the best time to close the application and play something else, take a break, you know what I'm saying? Just watch something funny. Just do something else, because you, like, honestly, you shouldn't be wasting your free time on things that aren't enjoyable. Like, probably a hot take, but hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I haven't always had a healthy relationship with DBD. I would tunnel survivors out of pure, genuine spite. And while it is fun to engage with once or twice, if the only thing motivating your actions is negativity, or hatred, or revenge, you will not find happiness through those actions. Dead by Daylight is a mixed bag. You can't have the sweet without the sour. You can't have the cute nemesis watching you play the loot without the missing 5 hatchet shots in a row and wanting to slam your head into a wall. The way that I managed to improve my reactions to those aspects of this game is knowing when to step back and knowing when my reaction is an overreaction. If I am crying because I just got absolutely decimated by a survivor team, I can probably deduce this reaction isn't about that survivor team. The better you know your limits, the better you know yourself, the better you'll be at handling adversity. There is not a button the developers can press that can patch out toxicity. It's an issue at the root of the community. And while I know I can't reach the whole community in my corner of the internet, I'm glad I can reach you. You're not alone in your anger or frustration.
And furthermore, to add on to what TwinsMainSage is saying, for anybody who's watching this also passes on to you watching it as well. And that is, I think, a pretty positive thing to do, a pretty nice positive thing to pass along that. And furthermore, like I've even said, is if you're like, you shouldn't waste your free time on unenjoyable things. I mean, like, I'm just saying.
You're not alone in your experiences of this incredible but deeply flawed game. I hope that seeing this less seen side of me hasn't lessened your opinion on my ability to provide insight or advice. And if it has, then I will eat you! And by that I mean I'll respect your opinion, and I'm proud of you for reaching the end of the video.
Which I will say, to pass along the message as well, I would like to thank you guys for watching up to this point. And let me know what you guys think of, like, if you agree or disagree with any of the points that I've made in this video. Because ultimately, like, which I'm not really sure the direction to go in with this, I would say, but ultimately, appreciate you guys watching up to this point. If you want to support the channel, links are in the description, as well as the original video to support TwinsMainSage. And let me know what your thoughts are on this topic, you know? And yeah, check out the other videos that I've talked about for TwinsMainSage, and I will see you guys in the next video.